Hi students, this is Viswanath, chemistry faculty for NEET and IIT exams. In last class we completed internal energy. Now see the next one, enthalpy. The total heat content of a system is called enthalpy. It is represented by H. It is a state function and extensive property. In last class we completed state function definition. Thermodynamic properties which depend on initial and final states of the system. Those are called state functions. Internal energy and enthalpy, these two are state functions, and enthalpy is a extensive property. Extensive property definition also we completed. Now just I am revising again. The property of a substance that depends on the quantity or size of matter present in the system is extensive property. Here enthalpy depends on quantity of the matter or size of the matter. That's why it is an extensive property. Now see the intensive property. The property of a substance that does not depend on the quantity or size of matter present in the system, that is called intensive property. Some properties do not depend on quantity or size of the matter present in the system. Those are intensive properties. Example: density, molar volume, molar entropy, viscosity, molar heat capacity, specific heat, surface tension, refractive index, pressure, vapor pressure, temperature, boiling point, freezing point. These are intensive properties. Okay. Now here enthalpy is a state function and path functions are also there. Thermodynamic properties which depend on path of the system, those are called path functions. Example for path functions: work and heat. Now here enthalpy is a state function and is extensive property. Now see the next one. It is impossible to determine the absolute value of enthalpy. It is calculated as the sum of internal energy and product of pressure and volume. So H equal to U plus PV. We can calculate delta H only, not exact value of absolute value of enthalpy. Change in enthalpy only we can calculate. For this formula H equal to U plus PV, delta H of a process can be calculated as delta H equal to delta U plus delta into PV. From this we can write delta H equal to delta U plus P into delta V. Since P is constant, at constant pressure we can calculate this delta H. So delta H equal to Q into P. That means heat absorbed by the system at constant pressure. At constant pressure, heat energy is absorbed by the system, that is called change in enthalpy. Delta H value is negative for exothermic reactions which evolve heat during the reaction. In some chemical reaction, heat energy is released. For those reactions, delta H is negative. Delta H is positive for endothermic reactions which absorb heat from the surroundings. Some chemical reactions absorb heat during the process. For those reactions, delta H is positive. Those are called endothermic reactions. Next, at constant volume, that means delta V equal to 0, delta U equal to QV. Delta U means change in internal energy. Heat absorbed by the system at constant volume is equal to change in internal energy. Therefore delta H equal to delta U, that equal to QV. Actually delta H formula is this one. Here constant volume means this term becomes 0. Then what is the remaining? Delta H equal to delta U, that equal to QV. The difference between delta H and delta U is not usually significant for system consisting of only solids and liquids. In a chemical reaction, only solids and liquids are present, then there is no difference between delta H and delta U, because solids and liquids undergo negligible volume change on heating. That's why for those reactions which are involving solids and liquids, delta H equal to delta U, but it is significant when gases are involved. In a given chemical reaction, gaseous products and gaseous reactants are there. For those reactions, delta H is not equal to delta U. For any chemical reaction at constant pressure and temperature, from ideal gas equation we can write P delta V equal to delta N RT. From expression 1 means, say this one. This is expression 1. In place of P delta V, we can write delta N RT. See here, delta H equal to delta U plus delta N RT. Here delta Ng, that means difference in the number of moles of gaseous reactants and gaseous products. Delta N equal to N2 minus N1. N2 equal to total number of moles of gaseous products. N1 equal to total number of moles of gaseous reactants. Here also we can write G, delta Ng. For any process which does not involve gases, delta H equal to delta U. Okay, now see the numericals related to this enthalpy. For the reaction, C2H4 plus 3O2 gives rise to 2CO2 plus 2H2O. Delta E equal to minus 1415 kilojoules. The delta H at 27 degrees Celsius. Delta E value is given, delta H we should calculate. Okay, say this. For this reaction, delta Ng, change difference in the number of moles of gaseous reactants and products. This is the given equation. What is the total number of moles of gaseous products? 2. We should not consider because this is present in liquid state. We can neglect. 2 minus 1 plus 3, 4. So 2 minus 4, that equal to minus 2. That is this one. Given temperature 27 degrees Celsius, in Kelvin scale 300 Kelvin. Formula suitable for this is delta H equal to delta E plus delta Ng RT. Substitute delta E value and number of moles minus 2 into R value 8.314 into 300 divided by 1000, because in the options they gave values in kilojoules. That's why we should consider R value in terms of kilojoules. So we have to divide with 1000. Then what is the answer? Minus 1420 kilojoules. Next, if water vapor is assumed to be perfect gas, molar enthalpy change for evaporation of 1 mole of water at 1 bar and 100 degrees Celsius is 41 kilojoule per mole. Calculate the internal energy change when 1 mole of water is vaporized at 1 bar pressure and 100 degrees Celsius. And second question is 1 mole of water is converted into ice. So here vaporization of water means liquid water is changed to gaseous state. So required formula is delta H equal to delta U plus Ng RT. Delta Ng RT here. See this one. Here delta is missed. Okay, delta Ng RT. Now delta U we have to calculate. So for that, delta U equal to delta H minus delta Ng RT. Delta H is given 41 minus delta Ng means difference in the number of moles of gaseous products and reactants. Here only gaseous product. For this we need not consider. So 1 into R value 8.3 into temperature in Kelvin scale 373. Then we can get delta U equal to 37.9 kilojoule per mole. Now say the second one. 1 mole of water is converted into ice. So this is the reaction. H2O liquid is converted to H2O. Yes. Here volume change is negligible because Liquid is changed to solid means the volume change is very less. We can neglect it. So we can put P delta V equal to delta Ng RT. So delta V 0 means this term 0 and this term becomes 0. So delta H equal to delta U. Because this is the actual equation, this term becomes 0 means what is the final one? Delta H equal to delta U. Here delta H how much? 41. So delta U also 41 kilojoule per mole. Okay. Next. 1 mole of an ideal gas expands freely at 310 Kelvin from 5 liters to 10 liters volume. Then delta E and delta H of the process are respectively. So change in internal energy, enthalpy change we should calculate. Say this. Here free expansion of ideal gas. That means work done W equal to 0. At constant temperature, there is no change in the temperature during the process. So at constant temperature, delta U or delta E equal to 0. Therefore, enthalpy change equal to delta E, delta H equal to delta E plus P delta V. That means delta E plus W. Here delta E value 0, W 0. Finally, change in enthalpy equal to enthalpy change delta H is also 0. Okay students, practice well. We will meet in the next class.